The best argument I can think of for why you want to live long in defense of longevity, I can't talk, is think about the time you've lived through, you know? Like the last 20, 30, 40 years. Think about how much has changed. Like, you could argue that it's changed for the worse. I think that's a ridiculous argument, but you could make that argument and probably stand on your own 2 feet while doing it. Okay. But the change is still dynamic. It's still exciting. It's still interesting. You know, I can remember I can remember landlines. I can remember record stores. I can remember no internet. And now I'm holding a thing that's communicating with potentially everyone that does all of that and so much more just in my hand. And it's available to me at any time. This happened in 30 years. Don't you want to live to see what the next 30 years will bring? And there's no sensible reason at all to think the next 30 years won't be more dynamic than the last 30 years. Now, I believe it'll be far more dynamic. I believe it'll be orders of magnitude more dynamic, you know? But it might be just as dynamic. There's no way it'll be less dynamic, right? We're not going to regress in the next 30 years. Something like that might be waiting down the pipe for us. God might throw a stone at planet Earth at some point. But the odds are excellent in the next 30 years that shit isn't going down, you know? Why don't you want to live to see it? And why don't you want to live well to see it? Now, I know I'm preaching to the converted. Most of you do want to, you know? But this is a fitness channel, or what passes for a fitness channel. So most of us are pretty invested in that. And, you know, like, you might be wondering what got this thought in your head. Well, I've been listening to Peter Attia. He's doing the podcast circuit right now, and he's a longevity expert. He's got a book out. I cannot wait to read it. And B, I just did my speed work in a graveyard. I'm always in this graveyard. I'm always thinking about death. I love this graveyard, and I don't find death a depressing topic, typically. Sometimes, you know, you get a little too high at night. You gotta deal with that groundswell of existential angst. I get it. But I'm not so naive as to think technology is going to save us and we're all going to live forever in computers. I think that's highly unlikely. But even a pessimistic view of technology, you have to admit that it's going forward. It's going forward in dynamic and profound ways, even if it is a net negative. And don't you want to see it? Don't you want to see what happens? Like, why not? You know? People pick on me for my training all the time. I get comments, but they're mostly very polite. But, you know, making suggestions about things I could do differently to get better results. I get that, you know, and I definitely could do things to get better results. And I kind of even am right now following that advice. But the result I really want, I want to live long, and I want to live well. I want a high quality of life for as long as I can eke it out. And that's kind of what this whole thing's about, you know? For me, that's my YouTube channel, you know? Like, how do I cook the books so that I'm around to see the future? And I think I got a pretty good plan, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. Today is a rest day. I'm gonna do squats. And something goofy for fun. I don't know what yet. I just did my speed work. I do speed work once every 2 weeks, and I ran 0.9 miles farther. That means nothing to you, but it's a hell of an improvement. I did not work any harder, and I did it by accident. So that's kind of amazing. Stay tuned. Let's look at some squats together. All right. So neither Peter Attia or Andrew Huberman need me to promote their work, but here I am doing just that and giving you a nice video of my butt. You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm embarrassed every time I do it. It really got me thinking, you know, and I will link it below, or I will at least link enough so that you're able to find the material about like why I'm not doing everything I can within reason to keep myself alive as long as possible. Now I'm doing quite a bit. I mean, that is one of my most important exercise priority, you know, longevity. More than longevity, the quality of that longevity is important to me. But there's quite a bit more that I'm just negligent on. You know, I haven't gotten blood work in forever. I'm certainly not getting screened for very, very preventable cancers. And I'm definitely in the age bracket where I should be doing that. And for that matter, I haven't had a checkup in over a decade. And like, these things are just silly. Like, they're cost prohibitive, sure. And there's really no way I can do full spectrum health analysis on my dime at this point. But could I make that a priority for the future? Could I gear my work kind of goals towards like getting health care and, you know, getting checked out? That is absolutely something I could do. And as much as it pains me to admit it, it's something worth doing. It only pains me because I just don't want to, you know? It's just a hassle. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to get finger banged by a family physician. I don't know, nobody wants that. But I do think that the stats alone on like stage 1 colon cancer versus stage 4, they're shocking, you know? And stage 4 is essentially a death sentence inside a 5-year window. And stage 1 is almost completely and totally curable, you know? And the difference between the two is a screening. Like, enough, you know? As undignified as getting screened is, it can't be as undignified as dying of butthole cancer when you don't have to. So yeah, that's the thing. This is it for today, guys. You know, I got a big squat day tomorrow, so I kept it light and easy. Yeah, I love you. Be good to each other out there. I'm going to try hard to do the same.